Welcome to UPLIFT, inspiring stories to uplift the world. Today, we have the immense honor of having Sophia Lorraine joining us. She is a true luminary in the world of transformation. Sophia Lorraine, a beacon of strength and empowerment, dons the hat of a transformation coach, specializing in guiding mom entrepreneurs along their transformative journeys. With a unique fervor, she ignites a fire within women, urging them to embrace their inherent power, construct unyielding confidence, and embark on a path of fearlessness. As we delve into the remarkable chapters of Sophia's journey, we uncover her extraordinary ability to facilitate metamorphosis. Her passion and expertise resonate profoundly as she empowers each woman to rewrite their narratives. Through her guidance, the seemingly impossible becomes not only possible but tangible. Sophia Lorraine's influence as a transformation coach extends beyond mere guidance. It's a resounding call to action for all those who yearn to sculpt their destinies. Her unwavering commitment to uplifting and empowering moms who are also entrepreneurs offers a unique resonance that echoes within the very core of our show's mission. Dear listeners, be prepared to be enthralled as we sit down with Sophia Lorraine. Through her wisdom, dedication, and unshakable belief in the potential of every woman, you will be inspired to step into your power, build unwavering confidence, and fearlessly manifest the life you have always dreamed of. Get ready to embark on a transformative journey that will leave you empowered, invigorated, and uplifted. Sophia, it's such an honor to have you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, thank you for having me. So, where do I start? So, I will start by sharing about how I got to where I am today. So, it was only 18 months ago now that I was at breaking point. I was going through a really difficult and challenging divorce. I was raising four kids at the time on my own. I had a teenage daughter who was suffering with poor mental health, really challenging behavior, and had just been diagnosed with autism. I worked full time as a housing manager in social housing, where we housed challenging and vulnerable adults. I also managed a team of 6 employees as well. So I had a lot going on. And it was a struggle for me to remain in my full time career, which ultimately, due to my personal circumstances and going through this really difficult divorce, I was signed off sick and had to take a step down. And whilst all this was going on, I also had a child taken from my care by my ex partner. And this was a huge shock to me. It was done in a very traumatic way and led to huge financial, emotional, and financial implications. And I was incredibly lost. I was grieving a child whilst also trying to raise my 3 children. Sorry, yes, sorry, my son is distracting me.
I see.
Yeah, so I was in this really, really dark place, and I just didn't know how I was going to come back out of it. One minute I was okay, and then just very rapidly things just spiraled out of control from me. I had debts that were 1 minute affordable, and then the next I did not know how I was going to keep my head above water. I felt that I was never going to be able to take my kids away again or even afford their basic essentials. And as this was all going on for me personally, what was going on in the outside world was the cost of living crisis. Then we're all being made to live in this complete fear and overwhelm and panic. And I just did not know how I was going to survive. I had recently invested in property education and set up a property business because that's something that I'd always dreamt of doing. But my beliefs and my confidence were in shatters, and I did not feel able to move forward at this time in my property business. Anyway, so to cut a long story short, I one night discovered this transformational healing modality, and I joined the free workshop, and I felt an instant shift in my energy in just that one session. So without hesitation, I invested in the full course, and it was an absolute game changer for me. So its purpose is to release limiting beliefs that are caused by trapped trauma and trapped emotion that we embody. And at this point, I never even knew that who I was and the reality that I was living were all based upon a set of beliefs. And they were not facts that I needed to live with, but they were all beliefs that I could actually change, and beliefs that did not serve me or did not fulfill my purpose or bring out the best in me. Now, the real power in the method for me was being able to go into childhood and past traumas and releasing negative emotions and beliefs that I've been carrying around for all of my adult life that were keeping me in this place of lack and playing small and living in this place of fear. So, since I've discovered this, I've gone on an incredible healing journey, as well as going through a spiritual awakening. It's just all happened at the same time, and going on this awakening to what is actually possible for us as humans. This has enabled me to remove so many limiting beliefs and heal trauma that has been holding me back my entire life. And I saw how much it was transforming me. So I've gone from, someone that lived in complete lack, fear, constantly criticizing myself, having that low self-worth, to now fully accepting who I am, loving who I am. I've removed any negative thoughts and feelings that I was once riddled with. I've managed to come off antidepressants when I relied on them most of my life. And I no longer onboard other people's opinions of me, and I just do me, and just so just over 18 months ago, there's no way that I would have the confidence to be sitting here with you, for an example. I would barely even post a photo on social media, let alone agree to do a video podcast. So that's, just how transformational doing this inner work can have on your outer world. So now I've overcome all that, I have confidently set up my own business, helping other females at the start of their entrepreneurial journey. I help them remove fears and their limiting beliefs that are keeping them stuck and in that place of lack and fear. I help them step into their true power and create businesses that they've always dreamed of or that they've been suppressing up until now. And they're able to go on to create those businesses without that fear of failure and judgment, which is two of the biggest things that holds people back. So I always knew that I wanted to be helping people. I just wasn't sure until I'd gone on this journey. And now this has just been life-changing for me and also the clients that I've been working with. So, and making the decision to quit my career was a huge shift for me because I had been employed ever since leaving school. I relied on that regular, secure salary, but I had managed to install that trust and faith and belief in myself that I was going to create a business and I was going to make it work. And I just had to believe in it. So, and I could not have done that without doing the inner work that I needed to do on myself and transform my beliefs first. So, and seeing the results from the women that I now coach, I just know that I'm on the right path and fulfilling my purpose, and literally seeing my clients' results just feeds my soul. They've just had so many amazing transformations, and it's created a huge ripple effect on the businesses that they've gone on to create and the services that they've gone on to provide for people. So for one example, one of my clients, Laura, she, like me, had set up a property business, but then lacked the confidence in believing that she was going to ever find an investor to invest in property with her. She would fear speaking to agents or putting herself forward for any properties. But then since working with me, and she had this real fear of, why would anyone want to invest in me? Like, who am I? And since we had worked on that limiting belief alone, within a few weeks, she had the opportunity, she aligned herself to the opportunity to meet an investor And she has now done the paperwork with this investor, and they're purchasing their first property together, which they are renovating to use as a property to house women that are fleeing domestic abuse. So it's had a huge ripple effect for her doing her inner work and transforming her beliefs. That because when you have limiting beliefs, you don't see the opportunities that are around you. But once you remove the beliefs, opportunities do come your way, and you're open to receiving them. So some people believe that doing the work on your mindset, or reading personal development books, or listening to podcasts is enough to transform yourself. But the truth is, if you don't do the deep inner work on yourself first, you'll always have that inner conflict and still feel those feelings of feeling trapped and in fear, and coming from a place of fear and low self-worth. And you're not really going to align yourself to the things that you're trying to manifest and that you want to bring into your life. And you may not be able to, just by doing mindset work alone, remove inner critics that we all often have, of telling yourself that you're not good enough or smart enough of what it is that you so truly desire. So which then, when you're trying to create a business, makes it very difficult. So some may be wondering what are limiting beliefs, because I know before I started this work, I didn't even know that it was a thing, because we just go about our day-to-day life on autopilot, not realizing that actually we are living from a set of our belief system. So limiting beliefs then are negative or self-defeating thoughts and assumptions that we hold about ourselves and others and the world around us. And these beliefs can hold us back from reaching our full potential and achieving or creating our dream life. They create mental barriers that prevent us from taking risks or trying new things, and ultimately pursuing our dreams and the life that we want. So limiting beliefs stem from our past experiences, societal conditioning, the influences of others, friends, family, or they can even be created by something as small as overhearing a conversation when you were a child. And that gets deeply ingrained into our subconscious mind and shapes our perceptions of our abilities, our worthiness, and our possibilities in life. So, for example, if you have a subconscious belief of I'm not good enough, but then you're trying to create a business. If you've got that subconscious belief of I'm not good enough, you're going to face conflict, and it's going to be very difficult for you to move forward in a business if you have that subconscious belief that you're not good enough. And we also live in a negatively biased world, which can then lead us to disproportionate focus on negative events, which can then impact on our emotions and our relationships and our overall well-being. And that also stops us from thriving.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that, Sophia. Thank you for bringing us what you have acquired through these last 18 months, but actually your entire life. I have a question for you. You mentioned that you went through a spiritual awakening. How did that happen?
Well, it was when at the start of the pandemic, when everything was kicking off and everybody was following some very bizarre rules, that I just was like, okay, there's something that's not right. And my opinion was very different to a lot of people's around me, and I've become very isolated. And yeah, so then I just started coming across things online, and when I find this transformational healer modality as well, that was all about being spiritually awake. So that kind of helped me find my tribe and helped me realize that there was more going on that meets the eye into what we were being told. But yeah, there was something so strong in me when the pandemic started that no, this isn't right. Like, don't follow the crowd. Don't go with what the majority around you are doing right now. Just something really strongly in me just didn't feel right. I knew something else was going on, and I was stepping into this spiritual awakening. So,
And how do you integrate your spiritual routine, your spiritual connection nowadays?
sorry, can you repeat that?
Yes, how do you live your spiritual awakened spiritually on a daily basis? Because it was one moment, beginning of the pandemic, when you really had to reconnect with all that is in the spiritual realm. Now,
Yeah,
then life goes on, and then you have all these experience and your daughter being taken away from you and other like pretty awful things. How did you keep your spiritual connection now that you became aware of all that
I
is?
did. I did a lot of research, and I connected with people who were further along in the journey than me. I'd reach out to people on Facebook who I'd see were that much further along than me, and I've just, entered communities that have all been really supportive. And then I've gone on to study a lot around the law of attraction and how the universe works for us. So yeah, it's all been really interesting, and I've definitely just seen huge transformations in my life as I've discovered all this stuff.
That's
And
beautiful.
I'm just so able to just let go of things that do not serve me.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just a much more calmer way of living.
Hmm. Yes, it's really uplifting when you can feel and understand, when the audience can feel and understand that sometimes life can be hard and difficult, but at some point, when you actually get back up, get back on track, you are reconnecting with yourself, reconnecting with the spiritual, and finally become all that you can be and not just a little bit you have grown up to become.
Yeah, and I've just been obsessed with the subconscious mind as well, because obviously that's where our limited beliefs are held. So our subconscious mind just records absolutely everything. Has photographic memory, and we run from our subconscious mind 95% of the time, which means we're only taking conscious action 5% of the time, which just blew my mind when I when I discovered that. And so our subconscious mind stores all these doubts and fears from our past experiences. And when we want to try something new, um, our subconscious will bring up things from the past that fill us with fear. And it does this because it likes to protect us and keep us safe. But actually, it's restricting you and preventing you from that growth. So being able to learn all this and know how to now navigate your way through it and overcome those fears by working with your subconscious mind, it's it's just game changing.
It definitely is. And Sophia, you said you live in the UK, is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Have you all your life lived in the UK, or did you move around here and there?
No, I've always lived in the UK. I've always lived in the same place, Bristol, with it was just me and my mum growing up. So my mum was a single mum.
Hmm.
Um, and then until I was 15, and then she had my little sister. So I've come from a small family.
Nice, nice. And how do you specify who your ideal clients are? What is their common denominator? Are they almost all in terms of figuring out who you are best fitted to serve?
Yeah, so I work with women who, like me, were at the start of their entrepreneurial journey, like when I set up my property business, um, or they're still in a full-time job but have like this, their desire or dream is to create their own business, but are stuck with those fears and limiting beliefs and those subconscious thoughts that they are not good enough. So, for example, one of my clients that has worked with me, she had been suppressing. So this is what I found, that a lot of women, or men as well also, but I work with women, a lot of women are suppressing their talents and their skills and abilities, and are working in jobs which are not serving them, not fulfilling their purpose, not making them happy, and they're suppressing what they do actually want to be doing over these subconscious fears. And my client recently, she when I did a session with her, and then we worked on procrastination, and then I didn't see her for weeks, and I thought, oh gosh, what's happened to her? And she come back to me a few weeks later and had produced all these documents for home education. She wants to provide home education for teenagers that are struggling with mental health. And since then, she's had all her work trademarked, and she's been approached by a corporate company who want to use her products and services for homeschooling. So that's another huge success story of working with one of my clients, and she's been able to unleash what she was suppressing, and she's gone on to create a fantastic business that's going to go on to then support lots
amazing.
of other teenagers.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So,
what modality do you use? Like hypnotherapy? What do you do?
so it's a combination of inner child healing, belief coding, NLP, EFT. So it's a combination of tools that I use, and it's extremely powerful stuff.
It is.
And,
I have put
it's
together.
So important. Yeah. Sorry.
You were saying it's so important.
Yeah, it's so important to do this inner work. Otherwise, you are always going to be battling with that inner conflict, and life is always going to feel difficult when you're battling that inner conflict. And when I see women that want to create their own business and have that flexibility around their children, that's one of the huge bonuses for me, like especially with the summer holidays right now, is not asking permission to be able to take my kids out when I want to, work around my schedule. But yeah, where was I going? Sorry. So yeah, when I speak to other women that want to do the same, it's amazing how many women are actually in roles that are not making them happy right now. The way I look at it is, you could either put the work in now, do the transformation work on yourself, and spend the next 1 to 5 years doing the inner work and creating a business that you desire. And within 2 to 5 years, you could create a pretty successful business. Or you could choose to stay in employment and stay there until you're 68. No, it sounds like a no-brainer to me. Well, when I put it like that to myself and other women, they're like, okay, let's get doing this work. Because it's not living life. It's not living life if you've got to stay somewhere until you're 68. Well, that's the pension age in the UK anyway, but obviously it's different across the world.
But the idea is the same, until retirement age, when you can finally get your monthly revenue, which often is like half of whatever you were used to have, or even less. And I saw quite a few people like that, and it's like, I would like to retire, but I cannot. Oh, I have to work. Oh, okay.
So yeah, to me and to the women that I now speak to, it's a no-brainer. Just do the inner work, create the business and life that you want, that's what works around you and your family, and eventually you can create a life of freedom, and that's hugely important.
Absolutely.
And change that cycle and set a better example to our children.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to put in the description of this episode all the links to reach out to you. I know we have Facebook for sure. Do you have a website ready or not yet?
Yeah, so I have a website, which is www.sophiafullpotentialcoaching.com. And wonderful. I'm also on Instagram or you can email me directly at info@sophiafullpotentialcoaching.com.
Mm-hmm.
So I offer one-to-one coaching, and throughout the year I will be running group programs as well. So I'm taking inquiries now for the next group program, which was hugely successful the last time I ran it.
Awesome.
But
I wish you even more success than you have known so far, because what you are doing is truly, truly amazing and important. Thank you so, so much.
thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Sophia, thank you for being here today. Thank you for being on Uplift, inspiring stories to uplift the world. You have really graced us with your presence, your experience, your life, and what you can bring to uplift so many other people. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Bye.